What's up, everybody? Crazy stuff went down that I wanted to film a little quick video on to give you all an update, some behind the scenes, like what this whole thing's about. I had a player drop out after one session. We had this huge thing I always talked about. I have multiple videos on the main channel about weaving backstories or weaving the backstories together to form a campaign story. So the campaign that I wrote and built around all these characters' backstories, spent a bunch of time doing it, as I'm sure other dungeon masters out there have poured themselves into this huge campaign story. And then real life happened for one of the players, and of the 4 players I had, one of them had to withdraw after one session. We had one session. They were part of it. They were part of session 0 and session 1, and then they had to leave, right? Stuff happens, right? And this is kind of what I'm trying to show this for, to show what I've had to kind of do and what the ramifications of that have been. So session 2, if you remember from the last little breakdown, session 2, they weren't able to make it, and then it's turned into not being able to make it at all. So again, back on that, I'm glad that we kept playing, because if we hadn't have played, now that's another week that we're off, and another, right? So what happened is I called up one of the players from the 3-year-long campaign I had, the paladin from that group that got to level 20 and everything. I hit them up to see, like, dude, let's go. Like, are you down? But if you're down, I want you all in down, because I'm only, like, I can't have it happen again. I've already poured, too much into the whole story of weaving it around these 4 characters to then have one of them snap off. I'm not going to have this person come in and play that person's character. That feels terrible. I want them to make their own. So I had to open back up the vault of my story and the possibilities and the potential for what it is, and insert this new character in there, Ivar, the battle master fighter, right? Instead of the key master, which was a homebrew class, and that was a whole nother thing I was going to dive into there, that had lycanthropy. Super crazy spoiler alert there, but it doesn't matter, because that character's not even in the thing anymore, which is a dagger to the heart, because I love lycanthropy, and I had a whole system around their lycanthropy. But I'll see if I can inflict one of the other players with lycanthropy now. But with them coming in, I have to open up the world again. I have to open up the world to see where I can fit them back in. So I talked with them one-on-one. I was like, all right, look, here's the general overview of the world. And when I'm talking to this player that swooped in, saved the day, my guy, I had to talk very vaguely and generally about the campaign. I gave them the overview like I would at all players at the, right, session 0, right, the prologue. And then I was like, all right, what sounds interesting? And he's kind of like talking. I said, I want both of us right now to kind of stay here, and then we'll both start to get more and more specific, right? So I talked about all the different nations and all the different stuff. I didn't give him the behind the scenes secrets, but I was like, all right, cool. So if you want, where are you from? Are you going to be from? You got to pick a nation to be from. If he chose cold, I was going to have a very similar backstory or a background options as far as his lineage and other things going on if he chose cold. But then if he chose mountain, I was like, mountain is kind of a mystery place. You have so I gave him a little bits of something to kind of latch onto, and he starts to latch onto more and more and more, and we start to fill in the gaps, right? And we just kept ping-ponging back and forth, generally, and then he would say generally, and then I'd be a little more specific, and he'd get a little more specific, then I'd get a little more specific, and we keep going. And I was able to find a place to fit him in, and it's super exciting to see now what he's going to be bringing to the table. So I'm not going to do it in this video. I'm going to have a whole breakdown of each character's backstory that I luckily haven't filmed yet. So now I'm going to film it for the main core group now of those 4 players and how they all tie in with each other. I have now taken this one player and put them dead in the center of everything that's going on now, and it all kind of, the coolest part is I don't know where this story is going to go. I don't know what direction they're going to take this in. It's a massive war. I have things planned for each different nation of what they're going to do, and I have no idea where the players are going to find themselves along the way in the sandbox world. So with this new entry, he chose the mountain nation that no one was from. The mountain nation might not have even been involved in the campaign till past halfway through, as far as what I was foreseeing. That probably would be wrong. But as soon as he said he's from the mountain nation, that completely changes. There's a lot of stuff going on in the mountain nation now that he maybe knows a little bit of. He has some little backstory rumors of. He's been there. He knows how to get back there, possibly. They have a higher chance of going back there because some of his stuff from his backstory with his family members that are from there. So I'm really interested to see where the story goes now, because it's going to be in a completely different place than it was. But that's kind of the process of what I did of this back and forth. Another cool thing is I wanted to throw something having to do with this dreaming world stuff that's going on with all these campaigns. That I'm also going to have another video for the world backstory lore secrets of, if you want to know that. All of that, I had to give him something because each of the players had something strange and weird. So I was like, I want you to give me something having to do with sleeping. Give me something weird, some sort of issue you have having to do with sleeping. I don't know, and I'm just talking very generally, very vague, because I don't want to give away anything. He's like, I sleepwalk and I have daydreams. Like, I see stuff that I think are dream. I'm like, oh my God, taking it and running with it, right? So I'm giving the agency to the player because I'm throwing them into a world that's already kind of started to, be locked in, that I had to unlock in, which is weird. So I wanted to give them as much agency as possible, as much creative freedom as possible to create and bring in. So like I had the group in session 0, I had the group make NPCs that are part of this army that they're all going to be part of. So they each got to kind of make NPCs that are in the thing, and they get to see them walk around. So it's pretty cool. I wanted to give the same opportunity to this player. So I said, okay, when you come down from the mountain nation to join this tech nation's army, who you bring, who's along with you, what's going on. Like, you got to bring somebody who's with you. And he was able to kind of, all right, cool. And he's brought 3 people along. Now I've put them into the Tech Nation army, and there we go. So our session is tomorrow. We're session 3, technically. First session for them, but this is now the core locked in group, and we're rocking and rolling. So that's the big update. I'll have all those other videos posting when I can get those kind of sprinkled in here. And I've decided to share the update. Big, huge curveball, but that's just another way to handle things when your sessions, like, it was a huge curveball of what do I do? Do I contact people? Do I look at do I run a 3-person campaign? I don't know. I just reached out. First person I reached out to luckily said yes. If that didn't work, I would continue to probably look around and try and find some people who are down to play, or run a 3-person campaign. But anyway, I'm excited to see where this whole thing goes and what this new direction that's going in that it never would have gone in before. So stay creative. Come up with creative ideas of how to get more players to come in whenever curveballs come your way to keep your campaign going. Thinking outside that box. Peace.